Welcome to the Konexial Android app walkthrough guide for drivers.
All right, once you've logged in, this is going to be the home, what we call the home screen. It's got three sections. First is the shortcut section, which is up top, the assistant or the workflow in the middle, and then the widget or time clock down below. Let's look at the shortcut section first. If you look, these are all the different shortcuts that are available, and you can select those. It'll take you directly to whatever you want to see. I've scrolled over to the far right. I'm gonna select this plus sign. This shows all of the active shortcuts as well as hidden options. The way to hide or unhide a shortcut is to select that shortcut, and if it's in the active, like in this case, I'm gonna select alerts, and it went from active down to the hidden section. If I select it from the hidden section, it'll go up to the active section. I can organize any of the shortcuts within the active section by selecting the little notes icon over to the right of the shortcut. In this case, I'm gonna go ahead and move ELD debug by touching it, holding it, and then moving it to wherever I want, all right? I'm gonna go ahead and put it right here. I'm gonna go ahead and move rods, so I'm gonna select it, hold it, and then move it, and I'm gonna put it right below settings. Once I've organized those, you'll see these from top to bottom on the home screen from left to the right, all right? So in this case, the active options, help is the first one on the top. If I select X and go back to the home screen, it's going to appear, the help is going to appear right there next to, or to the left of all of the others as the first one we've selected. All right, you can select these, and each one has its own shortcut. I'm going to select exceptions. So it's going to take me immediately to the shortcuts. I don't have to select a status change, exceptions, and then here I can go right to it and then activate it from there. And we'll talk more about exceptions in a little bit. Rods, if I select that, it takes me right to the rod screen. I've got the timeline showing me today's timeline. It's got the recap showing each of the days of this. Now in this case, this driver hadn't been driving, but anything that has a check in orange circle and a check, that's been certified. Anything without has not been. I'm gonna go ahead and select Wednesday and certify it, all right? And then we're gonna go and look at Wednesday for just a second, okay? So here's the daily log, and it'll come up for today. And again, you can cycle through each of the different days. So far, we haven't done anything today, so it's gonna show off duty, all right? I'm gonna go back to the timeline. I'm gonna go back one day to the 30th, and it shows that record has been certified. If I go back one more, this one has not been certified. So at this point, I could certify this by just selecting that record certified with my saved signature, all right? I'm gonna hit X. That's gonna take me back to the home screen. And again, I've got all these choices. So there's several different ways to do different things in the app. One of them is through the shortcuts. One of them is through the workflow, which we'll talk about in a little bit, and then also some of the old ways of doing it are also available. All right, workflow. This is kind of the path that you want to follow for your day, and it'll keep you, where you need to be. All right, and then I'll explain it far more as we go. But this is so when I want to start my day, I'm gonna use the workflow. All right. I'm gonna go, we'll come back to the workflow and have a separate video for that. The last one is this little bar, the section down below where it shows the 70-hour clock. That is called a widget. This is first of many that we will have, but it allows you, if I select that little dashed line at the top of the widget, it's gonna expand to the time clock. Same time clock, distance traveled, date, time, and then the three clocks. 11-hour driving at the right, 14-hour in the center, and then 70-hour in the left. And then the center clock is that clock that's going to count down if you're driving from 8 hours for your break. It's going to count up if you're an off-duty or sleeper and how long you've been in that status. Okay, now we're going to start our day and go through the pre-trip process. All right, so the first thing I want to do, I'm on the home screen, I'm in the workflow, I want to select Start Workday. When I do that, it's going to ask me which vehicle I'm going to drive. It's going to present you with the history of the vehicles that you've driven. In this case, this is not the vehicle I'm going to drive, so I'm going to select Other. And then it's going to give you a list of all of the vehicles that belong to your carrier. I'm going to go ahead, I don't see it, scroll down, I don't see it, so I'm going to go ahead and I'm just going to select the search button, and I'm going to go ahead and type in 1959. That's the truck that I'm in today. All right, I'm going to select that. Then it's going to ask me if I have any trailers. It's going to present you with the trailers that you've driven in the past, or you can select Other, key it in and search for it. In this case, CH47D is the trailer that I've driven and I have connected to my vehicle. So I'm going to select that. It's going to ask me any more trailers. For those carriers that have more than one trailer, this allows you to enter multiple trailers. If you're a carrier that says no more trailers, you only have one, then you would select no more carriers. At that point, it's going to ask you if you want to add load details to your trip. You can add it here, or you can add it later on in the process. And we're not going to add it here because we're going to have a separate video for load. So I'm going to say no. It's going to ask me if I want to do a pre-trip DVIR. If you say no, it's going to go right to a start trip configuration confirmation screen. In this case, I'm going to go ahead and say yes. When I say yes, the app is going to present me with any defects that I have on either the vehicle or the trailer. In this case, I don't have any, so I'm going to go ahead and add a few. First, I've got an issue with my fuel tank, so I'm going to select fuel system, and I'm missing the cap. All right, I select so right now this is the asset. I could either do truck or trailer. In this case, it's the truck. I can do severity, either minor or major, and I'm going to say minor for this, and then I can add a photo. Either I can add a photo from the gallery, which is my photo library in my phone, or I can add from the camera. In this case, I'm going to go ahead and add from the gallery, and I think I've got a picture somewhere on here. Well, I don't see, wait a minute. Well, I don't see it, so I'm going to go ahead. Let's go back. So anytime you want to go back, I'm going to go ahead and select the back button. All right, I'm going to go. So that takes me back to the add the defect. I'm going to go ahead and say camera, and I'm going to just take a picture. Okay, I'm going to take a picture out my window. All right, and then it asks me to confirm the picture. If I don't like that one, I can go back, and I'm going to take it again. Okay, that one, same thing, but I'm going to go ahead and confirm it, and then it's going to show that picture has been attached to that defect. I'm going to save it, and then shortly it's going to populate and show that defect on my inspection. Okay, if I have another one that I want to add, or that I want to, let's go ahead and we'll just add another one. All right, this one's going to be for the trailer. All right, safe loading, that's the issue. I've got an issue with shifting cargo. I'm going to change the asset to the trailer. It is minor. I can take a picture if I want. In this case, I don't, so I'm going to save it. And there we go. So now both of my defects, fuel system for the vehicle, safe loading for the trailer, have both shown up. Shows that I created them. And I'm going to go ahead and say inspection complete. Once I do that, it's showing me I've got some unidentified driving records, okay? And those would come in. I'm going to look at them. I'm going to select it. All right, this tells me the status, when it occurred, same UDRs that you guys see now. In this case, it's 1 minute from this morning. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to select all. and then in this case, I'm going to send that to the carrier. Same process. If it's yours and you drove it, you need to accept it, update your records. In this case, I'm going to send it to the carrier. Okay, once that's gone, then I get my start trip confirmation. Gives me the truck, gives me the trailer, my VIN number, my starting odometer, start time, DVIR, if any pre-DVIR, if any defects were found, and then right now there are no loads. If there's an issue, I select report issue. And these are the things that you can look at and address, okay? If there's an incorrect odometer, I can select that, and then it gives me the opportunity to enter that odometer reading, okay? In this case, I'm just gonna back out of it, so I'm gonna hit the back button. All right, I didn't make a change on it. Start time, same thing, I can change that. All of these I can change. Once I've made the changes, I can even cancel and delete the trip at this point if I wanted to. I'm gonna go ahead and say go back. I look at it, I say yes, this is correct. And then at this point, I'm ready to drive. Now, if you'll notice, when I started this video, I was in off-duty status. As a part of the benefit of the workflow, when you select a workflow task, not only will you have a automatic status change, but you will also have an automatic annotation. All right, now I'm going to go to rods, and we're going to actually look at that annotation. Okay, so here's my on-duty status that changed from off-duty. All right, and I've got a note of a pre-trip inspection, and then over here for off-duty, I've got a rest break note. All right, but depending on what is the selection, you'll get an automatic status change and a automatic note inserted into it. All right, at this point, I'm ready to drive. So we'll go ahead and end this video, and then I'll start one to kind of show the driving functionality. Okay, I've been driving now for 2.5 hours, and I'm gonna go ahead and take a break to get some fuel. There's 3 ways that I can change my status and put an annotation in for fuel. First one is I can go up here to shortcuts to status. If I select that, I can change my status from driving to on duty. I can go to the workflow and select go to on duty, and then it'll present me with the notes. Or I'm going to do it the old-fashioned way and just select driving on the time clock screen, and then I'm going to go ahead and select on duty. When I select on duty, I'm going to scroll down to fuel, select fuel. My status is changed to on duty. When I go to the rods report on the timeline, my status is changed, and I've got a fuel note. Also on the daily log, the rods report itself, I'll have that note also. And I'll go ahead and get the fuel, and then when I come back, I'll be ready to go back to driving. All right, I've already started my trip, done my pre-trip DVIR. Before I start driving, I want to go ahead and activate the ag exception. So I'm going to select, I can either do that up in the top, go to status, or I'm going to just select off duty on the widget, go to exception. I'm going to select agriculture, and then it's going to give me an option either to select my current location or select it manually. I'm going to say no, select manually, and then you can move the map around and get to the point, or what I recommend is you use the search by address. In this case, you just select search by address. It's going to show you a list of addresses that you've used in the past. So if you have a destination that you use all the time, you can select that, or you can type in the address. In this case, I'm going to go ahead and select this one on the top in Springfield, Virginia, and then it's going to show me the location. Yep, that's where it is. I'm going to select use this location, and now the agriculture exemption is activated. It has that deactivate if you select it, it will remain active until you deactivate it. All right. When I select the X to go out, I'm going to select X one more time, and that's going to take me back to the home screen with the workflow. If I select a little push pin with a circle down on the taskbar at the bottom of the app, it's going to show me where I am. But then also, if I zoom out, there's my agriculture circle, my 150 air mile radius circle that I'm looking for to activate the exception. So when I start driving between Atlanta and Virginia, it's going to be in the driving status, and then once I cross the boundary, it'll go to off-duty ag, and I'm exempt. All right, I've started my trip, completed my pre-trip inspection. I want to go ahead and activate the livestock ag exception. So I'm going to select the status shortcut up at the top on the shortcut menu. I'm going to select exception. I'm going to select agriculture livestock, and it's going to ask me for the first pickup circle. All right. In this case, again, same type situation as the ag. It's going to either allow you to say yes, and you're going to use your current location, or no manually. I'm going to select no manually. And then I'm going to go up to the search by address. And again, it gives me the addresses that I've searched or selected before. In this case, I'm going to say this is going to be in Springfield, Virginia. I'm going to confirm the location. I'm going to say yes. This is my first circle. I say use this location. And then it's asking for a delivery circle. Please manually select the destination. All right. I'm going to select the word select. I'm going to go up here to my address. Similar, setting up the circle. I can either type in a new address, or in this case, I'm going to go ahead and select this Newberry, South Carolina as my destination. All right. I confirm that location. Yep. I'm going to say use this location. Now the agriculture livestock exception has been activated. And when I go back to the main menu and look at the map, it's going to show me two circles. It's going to show me my destination circle as a darker circle. It is currently activated. All right. And then it shows my destination circle as a lighter shade, and that's currently deactivated. It's been created, but not activated. Okay. And it will not be activated until I actually drive up to Virginia and pick up that load. Once I cross the boundary going into the first circle, then that second circle will go from a lighter blue to a darker blue, and it will be active. In both circles, once they've been activated, you will be in off-duty ag. Right now, with this being deactivated, I'm inside that second circle. I haven't picked up my load yet, and so because of that, this is all going to be driving until I get just to the north of Roanoke, and at that point I would cross into the circle, and it would go off-duty ag inside the first circle, and the second circle would be activated and change to a darker blue, similar to the first circle. All right, at this point you're ready to start driving. I'm going to go back to my logs home screen. I can either select the widget to expand the time clock, or I can just start driving. Okay. I want to show you how to activate the personal conveyance or PC exception. I'm going to select the exception shortcut up on the shortcut menu. I'm going to select PC. Now it's activated. Once it's activated, you'll see on the time clock screen off-duty PC. That means that it's active, and when you start driving, your duty status will, at 5 miles per hour, go to off-duty PC instead of driving. To deactivate it, I just do the reverse. I'm going to go to exceptions, and I select deactivate. With PC and all the exceptions, it's better to have the exception than not. We can't add an exception, but we can remove the exceptions. I want to talk to you briefly about certifying your logs. It is a FMCSA requirement that each day, whether you're working or not, those rods or those logs be certified by the driver during their cycle. The easiest way to do that is to follow the workflow, and after every day, when you end your workday, your logs, it'll present you with an opportunity to certify your logs as a part of that end of workday process. In addition to that, you can always go to the rods shortcut and look at the timeline. And so right now for today, this day isn't over yet, so I'm not going to certify those logs, but you can go back each day and just select certify records, all right, and then it'll change from orange to green, or you can select recap, and recap shows you every one of these that has been certified. Now, we just certified on the timeline Sunday and Saturday. The remainder of the cycle have not yet been certified, so I need to take care of that. And I just do it by selecting, move that out of the way, select each of the circles, and now all of those are certified. Okay? If you go to the daily log, you'll see on the bottom of the report, there's the certification signature on that. Okay, so that takes care of all logs within your cycle. I do want to show you one other way to certify your logs. Let's say that there are records outside of your cycle that need to be certified. So if you go to the main menu, select unsigned logs, you're going to see and be presented with all of the logs within a date range that show have not been signed, all right? Now I'm gonna go ahead and just do the entire month. Right now that's 7 days, but I'm gonna go ahead and do the entire month of July, all right? And some of those are in the cycle, so we'll just leave it at the 27th. But all of these have not been certified yet, okay? And I can select it. It'll take me to that record, and it hadn't been certified. All right, so what I'm going to do is I can either select these on an individual basis, or I can just select all up at the top. All right, so that entire month, all of those records have been are going to be certified. All right, once I've selected it, I'm going to, down here it says 24 selected, I'm going to select sign, confirm my signature, and then all of those have fallen off the report. I can go to the next month and do the exact same thing. And this is a way that you can clean up your logs to make sure that all your records are up to date. Now, this guy has not been certifying them, so all of these are uncertified. All right, I'm going to select all. Right now, 28 selected. Confirm signature. Now all of those have been certified and they fall off the report. But this gives you a really quick way of going back. If you were on vacation, didn't drive, it's outside of your cycle, you can still go ahead and certify those. Okay? Just logged in after a long weekend, and I realized that I am not only in on duty right now, but it looks like I've been that way for the entire weekend. So first thing I want to do is change my status to off duty. So I'm going to select the on the widget on duty, change it to off, put in rest period as a note. Then I'm going to go up here to the rods report or rods shortcut, select that on the shortcut menu, and I'm going to change each of these segments for the last few days to off duty. I'm going to select each transaction. On duty, change it to off duty, select rest break. I'm not changing anything on the time. I select save. All caught up in the off duties. Everything's off duty. I'm going to go back to my time clock, and now I've got my 70 hours, my 14 hours, and my 11 hours. All right, so that's how you change your status when, for whatever reason, you didn't close the trip, you didn't end your duty day, you have left it in on duty, lost all your hours. Now you've been able to change it, and you're ready to drive. I want to show you how to get help from my 20 using the help functionality either on the main menu or the shortcut menu. In this case, I'm going to select help on the shortcut menu. You're going to have see the manuals, all the different information from my 20, and then also down at the bottom you're going to see a contact. You can either submit us send us an email or at support, or you can just select that call us, and you'll be able to call the support team directly from the app. Okay. In addition to that, you got to also have a help menu, same screen, just another option to get to the same place using help. All right. Thank you.
Thank you for joining us for a review of the Konexial Android driver app. If you have any other questions or need further assistance, please do not hesitate to reach out to us by visiting our website at www.konexial.com or through email at contact@konexial.com.